Gentlemen, welcome back to Game on Purpose. My name is Michael, and I want to continue the conversation from our last episode. Last time, we talked about knowing that there needs to be a change and still not doing it. Was this because of overthinking? Was this because of the fear of discomfort? Was this because of laziness or waiting for motivation to take over? We know that these are barriers in our way now, and we can move through these. And this week, I want to talk about not waiting to feel ready, but to take action anyways. But before we get started, let's check back in with the Baltimore Ravens. I simulated this season to about halfway through. We're in week 10 against the Minnesota Vikings. I want to go ahead and play this game. I am a Vikings fan, so let's see what they've got. I know they've got Dan Fouts and Ricky Williams on the offense. They've got Patrick Willis, Max Crosby on defense. So this should be a tough game. I want to see how they perform in Minnesota. Before we get there, though, I'd like to take a look at the statistics at this point through the season. Michael Vick sitting at 1,700 yards with 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Bo Jackson at 600 yards and 10 touchdowns. From our receivers, Percy Harvin, our go-to, with 33 receptions, 6 touchdowns. And on defense, Jimmy Johnson's been our leading tackler. We've got some good sacks as well. Justin Tuck and Carlos Dunlap with a good amount of sacks there. So let's jump into this game. Let's see how Minnesota does. All right. We'll be kicking off to the Vikings here in US Bank Stadium. As you can see, the unfortunate truth of playing in Minnesota during the day is this terrible lighting and these shadows that cascade over all of the field. It's not a good look. It's hard sometimes to see things, but we'll make it work. Here comes Dan Fouts in the Minnesota Vikings offense. We'll run this the same way we've done the other games. We'll do one offensive set, one defensive set, and then we'll go into the key moments. While we're getting going, what I'd want to talk about this week is, as we talked about, we've really laid the foundation on why we're stuck, the reasons, some of the things that are in our way, and knowing that we need to make that change and just simply not doing it. This week, I want to talk about waiting until you're ready. And if you wait until you feel ready, you'll never start. I'm going to blitz with Say out here. Let's get in there. Big block. Got him. Nice stop. This is a good start. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make, that people make, that men make, is waiting until we feel ready to start something. And we just don't. Is it motivation? What is it? I think some of the problems is waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time to make that change. What does that look like? Is it, I'm going to wait till the weekend's over, I'll start on Monday? Is it, I'm going to wait till the new year and this will be my New Year's resolution? Oh, nice pass. What is it? Why are we waiting for something to magically change in us that we're going to then make that change and do that thing? Last time we talked a lot about the gym. Is it going to the gym? Is it joining that group? Maybe it's a men's group and you have apprehension. You're nervous to do it. Sometimes you just have to do it. You just got to go and you just have to try. My real world example here is I waited a long time to start doing this because of judgment, what I thought people would think. Maybe I don't have the right things to say. And you know what? I just said, F it. It's time to start. It's time to do something. I have a passion for this type of content. I enjoy playing Madden. So why not put them together? I watch a lot of people on YouTube doing the same thing, playing these video games, having conversations about things. And I thought there's a real need for people to talk about real problems and the things that we don't talk about as men. So waiting for the right time. That's one major problem. Something we touched on last week, and I really want to dig into in its own particular episode, is motivation. Waiting for motivation. I think, again, like I said about waiting for the right time, all of a sudden there's going to be some magical moment where the motivation takes over your body and you go do that thing. You go on that long run. You go to the gym. You join that men's group. You go out and do that thing that you thought was going to help change your life. And on top of that, waiting to feel confident that it's going to go well. Because it might not. there might be situations where it may just not go that well. And that's okay. That's how we learn. I think as I'm progressing through this new adventure of mine where I'm building this channel and I'm talking about these things, I have my own apprehension. It took me a few days to get this particular episode rolling. We had a long weekend. There was a lot going on for me, and I feel like I hesitated a little bit, and I was nervous to get this started, and I felt like I've got to produce something, but I didn't know when, so I waited. And one of the things I heard this quote once, and I'm sorry, I don't remember where I heard it, but it goes, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." And that means a lot. I think that says a lot in a very small amount of words. Like, you have to start something, and you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know if it's going to be a major success or if it's going to be some learning opportunity failure. I mean, that's a possibility too, that, this may just not go that well. But you can take those moments and turn it into something else. Turn it into a situation where you learn, and maybe that turns into something that you didn't expect. You continue to tell yourself, I'm going to feel ready, it's going to come, and it just never does. So sometimes you just have to take that first step. And we kind of touched on this last week too, but why? Why do those things come up? Like, why do we hesitate? What is the real reason? Wide open, hit it. What is the real reason that we don't? Again, it's that fear of failure. It's that fear that if I don't start it, I can't fail. And that feels safe. It feels safe to know, like, well, I just won't fail, but I'm never going to start and try the thing that I want to do. Let's get Bo Jackson going. And I think as men, as our masculine side, the provider side of us, we want to know certainty. We want to know how things are going to work before we even begin. We want to know that we have safety in our numbers. We want to know that I'm going to make some changes to this real quick. I'm going to send my tight end on a streak, Johnson, and I'm going to put Adams on a go, on a speed out. Let's see if we can hit this. If not, I'll hit Bo Jackson on the right here. Oh, good coverage. Still got it. First down. Excuse me, not first down. He did not catch that. He was out of bounds. And another thing we touched on last week was comfort. It's easier to stay out of risk and stay comfortable if you don't do anything. Nice. We did, as I'm learning, Michael Vick has a tough time rolling to the right, but we got to the right. We set our feet, made that pass. That was beautiful. But it's easier to stay where you are if you think it's just like, I'm comfortable. Nothing's going to change. I'm not going to put myself or my family at risk. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm not going to put myself out there. But that doesn't give you anything. There's no growth there. There's nothing that's going to come from that. And again, for me, that usually means like putting things off. I put this channel off for years because I was scared of the repercussions. I was scared of what people might think or say. And of course, as we talked about last week, and it goes right into this one as well, is that overthinking mentality, where it's just like you can think of every possible scenario besides the one that might be good because you just don't want to do it. You just feel like that seems too hard. I'm gonna just do it. And then what you do is then you wait too long and you put too much pressure on yourself and you feel overwhelmed at the fact of just trying to get started. All right, goal line set. We've got Isaiah Pacheco in. I think I'm going to go ahead and run this stock. I'm going to move my offensive line over a little bit. Let's see if we can get this in with Isaiah. That's a great defense. Here we go. Wide. No! He got me. Okay. That's what happens. Sometimes that's what happens. Okay, we'll run this defensive set, and then we'll go right into the key moments. Something that I wanted to bring up, and I've been thinking about this through the series, is if you haven't checked this book out, James Clear's Atomic Habits. has been very impactful in my life. This is a book that talks about how, tiny, consistent improvements can compound into major life changes over time. And if you read through the book, it can help you with major life decisions. It can help you with your career. It can help you with just setting a system in place that can help you achieve large goals. Because sometimes you can look at something as Mount Everest. You're climbing Mount Everest to get to this goal, and you've got to have a system in place to get there. You've got to have base camps along the way to acclimate yourself to new experiences as you're climbing this mountain. And so I highly recommend taking this book. It's on Audible. It's a really easy read. You can read it while you're in the car. You can listen to it while you're on runs or on a walk. It really helps motivate and build those systematic strategies for yourself to create good habits, and more than anything, break the bad ones that are inhibiting you, that are stopping you from getting to your goals. And sometimes, just like anything, that was a hell of a play. Just like anything, you've got to have a plan. And if you're going into the gym, you're going into your job, you're going into your life, your marriage, your relationships without a plan, bless, because that's tough. And one of the quotes that I took away from the book is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. So again, having that system, that plan in place, having that plan in place will help you, like I said, take small steps to reach a major goal. And that can be very, very impactful. All right, we got to get a stop on these guys. Ricky Williams is killing me. He's very difficult to tackle. We've already made one major mistake in this game. Let's not keep this guy. This guy, we cannot stop him. Another piece of this, I think, specifically again for men, and this is something that I've had to overcome, and had a lot of tools and a lot of different practices to get me here. But I think protecting your ego is a big problem in all of this. I think we all have this ego, this idea of who we are and who we want to be. And if we step outside that, if we expand ourselves, if we push ourselves past a certain limit, it starts to affect us at an ego level. And that ego starts to come in and say, you can't do this. You've got to move through that. You've got to push yourself, and you have to not worry about how that's going to pan out. You can't let your ego be in the way of yourself, because you're not going to be great until you start something. You're not going to be great when you start it. We've all had to start something new. We've all had to learn something that we've never done before and probably looked a little dumb doing. That's okay. You got really good at it eventually, didn't you? You felt confident doing it at some point, but at the beginning, it was very difficult to get started. And that's me right now. I'm stretching outside of something I thought I could do. Oh my gosh, I should have had that. I should have had that pick. All right, well, we're going to hold them to a field goal, and then we'll drop this right into the key moments, and we'll pick it up from there. I probably need to lock in on this game a little bit more. All right, it's dropping us in the third quarter. Red zone alert. Let's see if we can get some more points on the board. We're up 7-3 after halftime. When I ran this into key moments right before halftime, we scored a touchdown. I'm not really sure how, but we're going to keep Bo Jackson moving because they are killing us with Ricky Williams. Let's see if we can get some yards here with Bo. So all of that being said, everything I've said today, I think what this really boils down to is, I think you don't get ready first. You get ready by doing. And you have to take the experiences that you have. You have to take the failures and the mistakes that you make, and you turn that into make a move, you turn that into your system that I talked about. The system of taking these small bite-sized chunks. For me, one episode at a time, one game at a time, one message at a time. And I feel like as I continue to push through this and push through my discomfort and push through my ego and my fear of failure and my discomfort and everything that I'm going through, I'm starting to learn. I'm learning how to speak while I'm playing the game. I'm learning to be confident in the things that I'm saying because this is the stuff that I practice. This is the stuff that I work on a daily basis. Okay, we missed that key moment. Now we're on defense. So we got some work to do. Third down. They've been killing me with the pass because we're too busy trying to block or we're too busy trying to get at Ricky Williams. I am not going to blitz Cushing. I'm going to play him and I'm going to stay out. Man, they are all over us. And you're not supposed to feel ready. That's been my takeaway from my experience here is that there's nothing that's going to make you feel ready. You just have to start. You just have to, at some point, you just have to go out and do it. You have to start it. You got to try something. And if you're not ready to start, boom, Junior Seau with a huge sack. That was great. But like I was saying, if you're not ready to start, and maybe there's some reasons behind that. Maybe you just don't have the knowledge base that you need. And that's why I think finding a book like Atomic Habits by James Clear, Do Hard Things. I think it's Steve Magnus. Do Hard Things is another really great book to help you understand how to achieve tasks or goals that maybe you never thought you could before. But I think that's a great place to start is, read a book, learn some things, learn some tools, learn how to ground yourself and visualize what it is you're wanting to do. That's a great place to start. And sometimes maybe that is the place to start where it's like, I don't actually have to go out and do the thing that's going to scare me so much. I can visualize me actually doing it. And then I can read some information that's going to help me build a system to help me take small steps to achieve that goal. When I finally read that book, and I've read it a handful of times, and I've used it at work. I've used it to hold presentations to motivate my teams. All right, they just called an audible. I feel like they're going to go deep here. Oh, great defense. I think those are great places to start. So, and if anybody has any other book or recommendations that they want to offer, I would love to hear these. I'm always looking for opportunities to learn other opportunities to learn how to grow and how to be a better person, how to take things I've never thought about before. Again, like these systems, that take small steps to grow yourself. That really changed my perspective on a lot of things. So let's get in here. Let's focus up. Let's finish this game with a win. No way. That is crazy. I'm going to throw a blitz at them right now because they're going to run this. They're going to get themselves in field goal range, and they're going to be able to win this game. We are not going to let that happen. Yep, I knew it. Got the 2-minute warning. We're going to have to focus up for this one. But over the next handful of episodes, I want to talk about motivation. I want to talk about confidence. And I want to talk about how we're going to take the action that we want to take. I think this was a first good step in nice breakup. This was a good step in kind of giving ourselves some thoughts on how we can move forward. We know we're stuck. We want to get out of being stuck. And now I think, we find the right information. We get the books that we need, the information that will help us get there, the systems that are going to help us build. Oh, that was my coverage. That's going to get us over the hump. That's going to change this for us. Calling all kinds of audibles. Checks down to his tight end. I'm going to not call a timeout yet. We're letting the clock run. This could be a mistake. He's probably just going to, let's see. Another check down. Didn't catch it. Clock stops. Third down. I'm going to go for it. I'm blitzing. I'm going to blitz him right here. Come on now. Got him. Now we call a timeout. Fourth down. This is going to be a much longer field goal. Let's see if we can hold him here. I think we can block this. Let's get King on this. Oh, we got a bad jump. All right. We've got 48 seconds to get back in this. All right, here we go. First down, 44 seconds left. We're going to get down the field. Great catch. Timeout, 40 seconds. We're going to get ourselves in field goal range and win this game. I think we can just hit this again. I'm going to be looking for, let's see how it pans out. There it is. Get a timeout. No. They called a timeout. That's fine. Perfect. Again, to close this out, the last thing I want to say about me is that I didn't feel ready to do a lot of things in my life. I certainly didn't feel ready to do this. I took a chance. I took a chance on myself. I took a chance with trying to learn something new. And I feel like so far it's working out for me. Come on, Mike. Got about. So that's my message to you is don't wait. Don't let your ego make the decision for you. Don't let discomfort be a hindrance in your life because some things are just going to be discomfort or uncomfortable. I think we're just going to let this clock tick down and we're going to kick this field goal to win. Can't ice us. And we get out of Minnesota with a 10-9 victory. That's how it's done. Good game. Stay at 8-1. Michael Vick, decent game. 1 touchdown, 187 yards. Bo Jackson with 44 yards. Devontae Adams, our top receiver, with 65 yards. Percy Harvin with another touchdown. Great game. Good game for the Ravens. We're going to continue this series. And like I said, we're going to take all of this that we've laid, foundations we laid, we're going to start to put action behind this. We're going to start to take action. We're no longer going to let ego get in our way, discomfort, fear, uncertainty. We're going to take these small steps and these systems that we create, and we're going to go after the goals that we want to go after, whatever that looks like. No longer are we going to wait to make change. We're going to do it, and we're going to have support doing it, and we're going to learn the ways that we can do it the right way. And we're going to make mistakes along the way, and that's how we grow, and that's how we learn. I'm ready to keep moving forward with you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to do this again. We'll see you soon. Bye.